Hey Lance, what are we gonna do with these tomatoes? This is way too many for us to eat, but not really enough to process.
We gotta core them, score them, and then store them.
Oh, good idea.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Rockin' Sea Homestead. My name is Lance. I want to welcome you to our channel. And we get asked a lot of questions about, I don't have enough tomatoes to really do a batch or a batch of canning or some sort of preserving of your tomatoes. What can I do until I have a whole bunch of them? So this is what we do with ours. We go through a process where we core them, we score them, and then we store them, which means we put them in the freezer. And then once we're ready for those things to come out, once we have a lot more of them, we'll take them out and we'll process them either in spaghetti, like spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce or whatever else kind of canning project we may have going on at that point. But that's how we do it, and we're going to take you through those steps today. So the first thing that we like to do is come in here and wash them and take off all these little parts from the stems. And just get them kind of cleaned up, because we're not going to peel these at this point. We're just going to go through the process. Some of these are hard to get off. You may have to do some when you're cutting them. I'm going to have to do that one, but I'll wash it anyways. Now you can do these with cherry tomatoes. With the cherry tomatoes, all you have to do is just take off the stem and wash them. You don't have to really cut them like we're going to. I know these aren't the prettiest tomatoes out there. We had a lot of rain here in the last 3 weeks, so some of them have cracked and split on us, but we'll just cut around that and have plenty of tomatoes to do other things. All right, so this is the setup that we have here in our kitchen dining room area. So this is just our normal kitchen table. We do have a separate tablecloth that we use, kind of a vinyl covered one. So if you get juicy, these things are very juicy. So if it gets on there, we can just easily wash it off, and we don't have to worry about messing up our table or one of our good tablecloths. Of course, I've washed all the tomatoes. We have a couple cutting boards with our favorite little paring knives to go along with it. And then we have a bowl that we're going to stick all of the ones that we're going to store. And then we have a bowl for the bits and pieces that we're either going to put in our compost or feed to the chickens. All right, so we're just going to kind of step you through one here up close. So this is one of our paste tomatoes. I don't know what variety it is, other than it's a paste tomato. So I like to cut that little bit off at the end, and then we're gonna, you just make a score like that, probably a little bit thicker than I needed. And then you see up here, it's all cracked and kind of icky. So as I'm coring it, I'm just gonna cut around all of that and make sure I got it all. So this thing has been cored. It's been scored, and here in a little bit we're going to store it. But for now, you just put that away, and you grab the next one and keep going. All right, so now since we have all of these cored and scored, now it's time to store them. So we just take freezer gallon bags, and what we like to do is put them in here and weigh them, because a lot of your recipes that you're going to can with ask for the weight of the tomatoes or so many pounds of tomatoes, and the weight of the tomatoes will change, because once these freeze, a lot of water is going to come out of them, and it may change a little bit if you dump that water out. So we like to have the amount of weight on them beforehand. Okay, so that's 4 pounds. So here's one 4-pound bag. All right, so now we have them all cored and scored, and now we're going to store them, right? So we have them in gallon-sized bags. We got the date. We have how many pounds are in each bag, because a lot of your recipes, as you move forward through the process, when you pull these out of the freezer, are going to ask for how many pounds that you have. So not only do we write them on the bag, we also keep those on a separate either on a piece of paper somewhere or on a spreadsheet, so we don't have to keep going into the freezers and pull them all out, see how many pounds we have, and put them back in. This way we can just kind of add to it as we're putting them in the freezer throughout the season. Now, one of the things we do try to do is try to get as much air as possible without squeezing them too much. So just do your best. Try to get all that air out. And then now these are ready to go in the freezer. So here's some of the products that we actually preserved last year. So this side over here is some pasta sauce and some tomato sauce. Now, when you score and core and store these guys, this is really what you're gonna go for. Something like a sauce or ketchup or barbecue sauce, something in that vein. Over here, we got some fresh salsa and some diced tomatoes. What we found out is once these have been frozen, they get a little mushy, and they don't really hold up well with what you'd really want with like a diced tomato or even maybe in your salsa. Now, if you're just gonna blend your salsa up, this may work perfectly for you. I'm not for sure. We like ours a little chunky, so it doesn't do that. But the one thing really great about this is when you do it with the freezer and you put them in the freezer, once you take them out, those skins just come right off. You don't have to worry about trying to blanch them and those kind of things. When you're processing them fresh, you have to add that extra step of blanching them. But this is what we're looking for later on in the season. Once we get enough of them collected, we'll start making our sauce, ketchups, barbecue sauce, tomato juice, whatever it may be, but this is what we're looking for. Well, I hope we have answered the question of what do I do with my tomatoes when I don't have quite enough to make a big batch of something, but you still want to preserve them and there's too many to eat at this point. So this is what we like to do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions, make sure you leave comments down below. If you think of someone that may like this video or some of the other videos we have on our channel, make sure that you do share those on with those folks. We would really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, there's a button right down there. Make sure you click that bell so you get notified every time we put out a video. And of course, we're on Facebook and Instagram. Go check us out. And guys, from our homestead to yours, have a blessed day, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.